New speakers. Let's see, shall we? So, new speakers. I don't really know how to do speaker reviews. I just know I want to replace my... Let's see if I can get this one. My crappy 10-year-old Philips bass, yeah. Yeah, crappy 10-year-old Philips speakers with a... I guess this shows the best. Wait, it's in the way. A Edifier S1000DB. These are speakers which have an integrated amplifier. They're two-way because they have a tweeter and a bass driver. And they have Bluetooth, optical, coaxial, electronic crossovers for, DSP, tone control, remote, because, well, the volume buttons are on the back. And, yeah, they actually look quite nice. Well, we don't know yet, but we'll get them out of the packaging soon. They include a tone graph, and, well, they tell you if you change the buttons, how the tones will change, and if you change the bass, you'll get more bass, and if you change the treble, you'll get more treble. Who would have expected that? But it's nice that they include it, and let's see what kind of drivers they have. RMS 25 watt for treble, for the high tones, for the tweeter, and 35 watt for the mid-range and bass. That's a pretty good amount of power for this size of speaker. But enough of that, let's get them out of the box and see what comes with it. So, okay, these look very nice. They're heavy as, yeah, they weigh a few kilos. That's good. Sounds like good construction. I like the wood finishing. It matches my faux wooden table. As you can see, they have a port in the back. That's for some bass extension. A port allows the driver to extrude, whatever, a bit further, at the cost of a bit of control, but if the port's done correctly, that should be fine. That does limit the placement against a wall, though, because the closer you put a port to a wall, the more the bass will resonate, basically, with the wall in the room. That can be a desired effect or a non-desired effect, but mostly if you have the bass control, you can tune that a little bit. So, we'll see. Well, not much to see for this one on the back. So, looking at the... No, go here. Yeah, looking at the speaker's front, we have a cover, which is non-magnetic. It's hooked in with pins. Then again, I always wonder why you want neat magnetic covers, because you either leave them on or take them off. So, here we have the bass driver and our tweeter. And, yeah, it looks very well crafted, decently finished. Nice tight tolerances. Yeah, looks good. Let me put that back on. Let's look at the back of the other one. Camera's on autofocus. I really hope something is in focus in this video. I have no clue. If it's not, sorry. Just think it's all about the audio, So on the back here, we see volume input, and we have bass, and we have treble, and then we have bass. On-off switch. Attached cable. I like detachable cables better, but okay, at least I got the correct plug from China. Oh, I bought these on AliExpress. They had a sale where they were $268. I'll have an overlay here. And, well, normally these sell for around $400, or over here in Europe, 400 euros. I did have to pay some import tax, but all in all together, I got them shipped from China with DHL for at least 100 euros less than I would have had to pay locally. So, That's a good deal. So, we have some ports. We have aux in and PC in, optical in, so you can make a digital connection, coaxial in, same deal. And then we have the connector port for the left speaker. Now, these look like proprietary cables, but I believe these are mini XLR or something in the form. I'll have a link in the description to where you can buy different lengths of this cable if you want a longer or a shorter one. Yeah. Okay, speaking of cables, you get a jack to RCA and you get RCA to RCA to connect your sources. They even throw in a optical cable. It's a pretty short one, not sure how long it is, but it's not a very long one, and especially with optical you can go long because, well, it's optical. So I might have to buy a longer one from that. I'll have some listed in the description if you're looking for those too. And, well, a remote. And the remote allows you to either activate Bluetooth, the optical coaxial, or the PC RCA inputs. And it has up, down, left, and right. I don't know what that does. Maybe bass and volume, or input and volume. You can mute it and turn on and off the speaker. Okay. Yeah. Not much else to say. Of course, this unit is a bit heavier than this unit. Well, actually, they don't differ that much. I don't know if there is a difference. I'll put a little overlay somewhere over here where I'll note if there's a difference in weight, because I don't know if only this speaker has an amplifier, because it has a power cord, or that this speaker has an amplifier too. And the reason I don't know is because this is a 4-pin connector. So they could be transferring stereo and power, or just stereo, I don't know. But as I said, in the lower third it'll say at some point. So let me put it in place, and yeah, I guess then we'll listen to it. Not sure what good that will do, because, well, you'll be hearing it through your speakers, and if you have these speakers, well, they won't really sound like these speakers, will they? They'll sound like these. So, yeah, I don't know. But stupid thing is, if I look at speakers on YouTube, I also like hearing audio samples. So, let's do this. Okay. Speaker replacement completed. Are you insane? Are you going to put them in the windowsill? Yes. This isn't perfectspeakerreview.com. This is, I want better speakers in my tinkering room in my garage, and I don't want them to take up too much space on my desk. They are a bit bigger than my previous ones, though. So, the included cables, I guess they have to include something, but these are, well, they look like shit. Doesn't mean they sound like shit, but they look like shit. And cable length, this is maybe 1 meter, maybe even shorter. What the hell? Who has their stuff that close? My computer is like on the ground somewhere over there. Yeah, I'll have to get different cables. That's no problem, but include 2 or 3 meters at least, or maybe 2 types of cables, one 1 meter and one 3 meters. This, I don't know. I always hate short standard cables. So, okay, let's see if we can do a Bluetooth pairing. Bluetooth. Let's remove that ugly, fugly. Aha. Okay. Bluetooth. This remote does nothing. Battery's in there. It's a standard CR 2025, 3 volts. Okay. So that's not. Oh, maybe I just have to turn them on. No. Light turns off. Turn them on again. Edifier S1000DB. Okay. Pairing. Connected for media audio. Okay, well that sounds good. Spotify. And let's see if I have a playlist we can actually listen to. NCS releases. That should do. I don't know. Let's play this one. Oh. Okay. So up and down is volume up and down. Well, right from the boot, this sounds a hell of a lot better than those old speakers from Philips. But I paid 100 euros for those, and well, these cost me about 300, so okay, sure. Okay, well, I'm sitting back in my normal position, and my camera is also back in the normal position, still between the speakers. I have some soft music playing in the background. You can probably hear it, although this microphone has a front pickup pattern, but we'll see. I have prepared my Chinese audio listening tower of power, basically stacking some IKEA boxes with lots of electronic components because they will enhance the sound quality immeasurably. I mean, I didn't even use the level shifter box because, well, that just brings it to a whole different level. So I'm not going to use that. That would be cheating. But these electronic component stack boxes have a special sound dampening cushion material made from the included fabric, because if they include it, it has to be good, right? I mean, they wouldn't include just some shit sound dampening fabric, so yeah. And then we have our Chinese Audio condenser microphone listening device. These are immeasurably good. That's how good they are. And I will now play you some clips of the speakers playing music at their default settings. So bass and treble is in the middle position. Let me move the sound listening tower in place, because you know the speakers are angled upward. So that's why I think we need the sound listening tower. And let me make sure we're perfectly in stereo. There we go. And I'll turn it up and enjoy.
Let's creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. My heart afire, heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
So, what do I think of these Edifiers S1000DB? Well, I think we need to move my Turbo Mega Ultra Super Pure very high definition audiophile sound listening tower out of the way. And then we need to actually focus me. There we go. But what do I think about the speakers? Well, initial impressions are good. One of the things I immediately noticed though, I understand why they're slanted upwards, because the audio they basically radiate forward definitely improves in stereo stage instead of me sitting down here or moving upward or more. That's why the ultra sound measuring tower has a higher position. But how does it sound? Well, as I said, first impressions are good, but speakers need a little while to get into their optimum form by playing an audio for a while. And also, well, I think giving you my impressions after 10 minutes of listening is too soon. So I'll see you guys in a few days. So, it's a few days later, and I can say that the Edifier S1000DB speakers have now had about 20 hours of playtime. I basically just left them playing while I went to work. Not at a high volume, but low, moderate volume, and playing all kinds of music. And that opened the speakers up a bit, as they say. But sound, well, is sound, and it's very subjective to your ears. And as I said before, it's hard to convey in a YouTube film that gets compressed and gets played by your own speakers or headphones or whatever, how good or how they sound. We'll go to some measurements, because, that's something I do know how to do. And those actually surprised me. But the sound, overall, it's very good. I think the price-quality ratio is very good with these speakers. They're definitely a step up from what I had. But also, I also use the Bluetooth functionality next to the RCA and the optical. All work just fine. But if you would consider these Bluetooth speakers, and that I got them around $300, which you have other Bluetooth speakers too, they blow any Bluetooth speaker I can think of out of the water. So if you want a speaker set that does Bluetooth, get these. Pay a little bit more than the $150 for, those small portable ones. No, this one doesn't have a battery, etc. But if you want to use it at home, it's a great set. So as computer speakers or movies or something like that, if you're in a smaller room, I think these will suffice just nicely. For movies, you might want to buy a separate subwoofer though, because although their low extension is pretty good, I can often feel the bass, so that means it's going around 60 Hertz or something like that. Well, these little drivers won't really go much lower than that, and they pack a good punch, but I don't think they'll be very good in sustaining explosions and stuff like that. So although they can certainly be used for that fact, for movies, you probably want a dedicated subwoofer to add to them. Sadly, they do not have a subwoofer out, so you'll have to arrange that otherwise. So, am I satisfied with them? Hell yeah. $300, $400, they're great speakers, and if you need something for your PC or to listen to music, they're fine. I will say that they use a metal dome tweeter, and that kind of changes the sound characteristics. Whatever. And you can hear that. But my main speakers in my living room, they also have metal dome tweeters. They're beryllium, I think, from Focal, but still, metal tweeters have a distinct sound versus silk dome tweeters, and then again ribbon tweeters, etc. And if you like more airiness instead of more tingy or harshness, I guess, maybe look for a soft dome tweeter, because these you can hear the harshness or sharpness or whatever you want to call it. So if you're looking for the ultimate air speakers, these aren't it, but their stereo imaging, despite that, is very good. The highs are good, lows are good. There's no resonance I can hear or bad tones. I think they filtered those out, and they behave very well at low and higher volumes. Bass doesn't drop off at higher volumes. All in all, I'm very satisfied. So, things I can do is, measure power consumption. And here's where things get a little strange. While measuring, if they're off, remote control off, they use about 0.35 watts. That's great, that's fine. Then I don't have to use the button on the back, 0.35 watts, I couldn't care less. If they're on and not doing anything, they use about 4 to 4.5 watts. That's decent too. But the thing is, if they're playing music at low or even moderate volume, they still use 4 to 5 watts from the wall. And 5 watts is like when we charge our cell phone with 5 volt 1 amps. That's also 5 watts. That's nothing. Where's the sound coming from? And even if you turn them up uncomfortably loud and they overwhelm my microphones and I don't really want to be in the same room at the same time, they still only use 8 to 10 watts from the socket. So, can anyone explain what's going on here? Because I don't know. Are they really using this little power? Or is something else going on here, and is my measurement equipment malfunctioning, or is it just not catching the peaks? Or I haven't been able to figure this out. But whatever they're doing, even if they indeed use this little power, and then I don't know why they say that they have a 25 watt speaker tweeter and a 35 watt bass driver, because the whole thing, including the amps and all electronics and 2 speakers at the same time at blistering volumes, only uses 10 watts. So, dunno. But hey, they sound good, and I don't have the feeling that they cheapened out and use fake specifications, etc. These definitely aren't fake speakers or whatever. They sound perfectly fine. And yeah, if you're looking for speakers at your computer to play some music somewhere and you don't have a big budget, I would definitely recommend them. As always, I'll have some links to Amazon and AliExpress where I bought them. Yes, they will ship a 15 kilo package from China with DHL, and often it's still cheaper than buying it local. So yeah, I'll have links to all that, and those are affiliate, so you'd help me out. And yeah, this was fun, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.